You successfully connect with his neck while he's staggered. Blood starts spraying everywhere. However, you don't put in enough of your body weight to completely chop his head off. So what happens is instead, you just pierce through a couple arteries and blood sprays all over you as his neck kind of halfway flops to the side. He falls over dead.
Michael, you now have various diseases.
I'm immune to all that shit. Mostly. Yeah. Disease resistance 75.
So you can have
After him, quickly! What?
Oh, shit.
You got this, son.
I am going to back away.
The murderer's dead. This Argonian killed the murderer. Thank you. What's your name, sir?
Raljiktar.
Thank you, Raljiktar. This murderer has been going around killing various alchemists that have been going out into the wilderness to pick herbs. Please, come to our village.
I will just nod and follow them.
You're a god.
I've got my godly status.
This is going to be such an interesting...
They're gonna eat him. It's actually a tribe.
I've been deceived.
After about an hour's worth of hiking, you guys make it to a rest stop along the main road. There are various horses that are tied up, and they seem to be several wagons ready to go at a moment's notice. Wait here. I'll go secure us a ride, Balrog says as he goes to the north. Faldarth trying to wait there, but not really succeeding. He stops himself from walking, and then a couple seconds later he takes another step forward, and then he stops himself and then takes another step forward, and so on. He eventually just kind of stops outside and just stays there.
Tugged against the door repeatedly.
I'm just going to chill and wait here.
Yeah, should we go and wait up by the...
I'm just going to move to here. Alright, well, I don't know.
What do you think? There's any supplies we can get in the rest stop? Or do you not need anything? Do you not want to,
I'm sweet. Did we...
a coffee?
No.
Protein bar?
Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull out, you know that mead, or that drink that I had from the very start of the game, that bottle of purple stuff that I was drinking at the start? I'm going to pull that out and have a drink.
You don't actually incur any trauma over it. It's just like you spit some of it out reflexively, and then the rest of it goes down.
You Dunmer, you can barely handle your drink. Let me have a shot.
Alright, I'll give it to you. It tasted better at the place.
Alright, Colton.
Not only does it burn your tongue, but in your esophagus, you spit it all out. You start hacking and wheezing. Your eyes start watering as some of it comes up your nose. You're not feeling good, sir.
You need a hand, son.
This is how all Bretons drink. This is normal.
Pathetic.
Your esophagus is somewhat burned, and you feel that raw feeling in your throat. You can still talk, but every time you talk, you kind of feel that pain again.
So, Faldarth, you want a drink?
Okay, I haven't had anything to drink in a while.
Alright, I hand him the bottle.
He immediately takes a swig. He fails to keep it down and immediately throws it up. He hacks it all up over the place. Nasty! Nasty stuff! But he hasn't spilled it. He just hands the bottle back to you. I don't want any of this ever again.
Alright, well, I am going to decidedly move away from the hacking, coughing, and wheezing Breton, as well as the pile of vomit left by Faldarth, because I don't find it taste that delightful to be around. So I'm going to move up here in front of the building and chill, and leave you to your embarrassment.
Our village is named Alses. You'll find that it's the only trading hub here in this part of the world.
I just follow along, so I literally just nod and follow.
Well, they don't pick up on the fact you don't understand Cyrodiilic Common very well. They see your body language, they acknowledge you, so you're just heading up. The East Empire Company has a base here, but there's also quite a bit of trading you can do. There's a blacksmith. There's also a tavern you can take advantage of. Either way, thanks for your help. The village is right ahead. We'll go ahead and deal with that murderer's corpse. You go on ahead.
Alright, I'll say thank you in a deep hissy voice. Thank you. And I will proceed ahead.
The rest stop has 2 windows, one on each side of a swinging door, which doesn't seem to ever quite seal. It's just, it wobbles back and forth in the wind.
Okay, I'm gonna have a quick peek through the window before I do anything.
Borog is talking with a man behind a counter, and there are several chairs lined up. They're all occupied by various men. Some of them look fat, some of them look skinny, but all of them look just kind of bored, like they're just relaxing while their horses get stuff done.
So I'm not actually going to do anything too intense. I'm just gonna, step inside and act casually and just like get within range to just listen in to what Borog is saying.
You hear the other caravanners talking to each other about the conflict and how it's making it very irritating to travel, because there's normally a main road that goes from here to Cheydinhall, but there's this big fire cutting right through that main road. So they have to take these side roads that add an extra day to their journey. Otherwise, they wouldn't even need to be in this rest stop right now. And that's what you gather from the other caravanners. Now, listening to Borog, you hear him arguing over price. I said 2 gold coins. It's 3 gold coins, sir. Come on now. Look at all these people. They already have their own wagons, their own carts. You can do 2, and you know it. All right. We have an accord. And so the man behind the counter and Borog shake hands, and Borog turns around to see you.
Huh. I didn't even really need help.
The orc's smoother than you.
Yeah. I think I'll just nod and then dally on out of there.
Borog leads you around to a wagon. One of the men from behind the counter comes around and brings the wagon out to the main road. Everyone gets on the wagon, and the wagon takes off north at a speed much faster than the one Ral was going on.
Dun dun.
Ral has just arrived in Ales. So around you, Ral, there are peasants going back and forth. They aren't wearing very extravagant clothing, but definitely not rags either. They seem to be just kind of middle-class traders. Some of them are loading up wagons. Others are heading off to the northwest, where we assume there's a tavern. Some are talking with each other. There really isn't any major event going on. This just looks like an overcrowded small town.
Okay, well, I'm gonna walk through town and look around, trying to find the closest trader.
To the north of you directly, you can see a sign for a general goods store. There is a caravaner who is actually loading up his cart with supplies from that general goods store right now.
Well, I am going to approach and ask if I can trade some goods.
I'm rather busy right now. I've already done my fill of trading here, but if you go inside, I'm pretty sure the owner of the store could accommodate you. There's a lot of shears for clipping herbs. There's pouches, bandages, medical supplies. Pretty much everything you need to get started on an adventure, more or less. There aren't really alchemy supplies, but there seem to be a lot of herb gathering supplies. There's a distinction between that. But there's also like these little packages of dried meat and things like that, all kinds of survival goods as well. Behind the counter, middle-aged Redguard, and he watches you as you enter, and he puts one hand underneath the counter, but he makes no move to attack you.
I look him straight in the eyes and simply say, I'm here to buy some goods. What do you have? Don't let the blood alarm you. I have just killed the murderer who has been killing alchemists.
Really? Well, thank you. That's very good news. I have to admit, and he takes his hand off of the underside of the counter. I have to say I was somewhat worried there, but thank you very much.
I have some goods to trade if you're interested. What is your best equipment for an alchemist looking to gather ingredients?
Well, we have some clippers here. A lot of people destroy the flowers they're trying to harvest because they're doing it by hand. They manage to tear the stems and things like that. With these clippers, you can just snap the stems very easily.
And how much do these clippers cost?
Mere 2 gold.
Mere 2 gold. That's quite a lot. Well, I will buy those clippers.
He holds out his hand expectingly.
I reach into my bag, pull out 2 septums and 2 coins, give them to him. I go over, take the clippers and put them in my bag. And then
Anything else?
Yes, actually. What else would you recommend someone looking to pursue alchemy would purchase here besides clippers?
Well, if you have a skinning knife already, it's very different from your standard type of weapon. It's actually very, very sharp on the edge of the blade, but not very thick because it's more of an instrument rather than a weapon. I would recommend taking a skinning knife and using that in order to harvest not only things from any kind of animal carcasses, but also being able to shave off parts of plants, such as bark, for instance.
Okay, well that does sound like a good idea.
That would be 3 gold, and the reason it's a little more expensive than the clippers is because it needs to be not only smithed out of steel, not iron, but it also is shaved to a perfect sharpness.
Well, I will take you up on that offer and give you 3 septums. So I'll reach into my bag, pull out 3 more septums and gladly hand them to you. I guess the last question I have is, do you take other goods that aren't alchemy related? Like, will you buy them from me?
Anything that's reasonable I think I can resell, I'll definitely take a look at.
What would an A-lid coin be worth to you?
Well, let's have a look at that. He holds his hand out.
Okay, I take out the A-lid coin, I place it in his hand, keeping a watchful eye on him. Just 1 A-lid coin.
He holds up the coin to the lantern dangling above, and he shifts it around, and then he bites into it like an idiot. He says, "This is a real A-lid coin. I'll give you 20 septums for it."
Alright, I'm sold. Enjoy your A-lid coin.
Secretly worth 2,000 gold.
Yeah. Maybe, but I don't know that, so I'm happy to get money I can actually use.
Just Google it.
I say you can keep it and hold out my hand, awaiting a sack of septums.
He pulls out a sack of septums and he counts out 20 coins, places them on the table in front of you.
Alright, I count them up myself and take them, put them in my bag. I'm going to leave the building without saying thank you, because why not? And see what else is in town.
He goes over to where you were and makes sure that everything is still in its place.
So am I talking normally again?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
The wagon pulls up to the bend in the road leading toward the village. The man behind the horses says, "This is the village of Ales. I'll see you all later." And he lets you all off.
Peachy, we get off.
The wagon travels off without you guys. Balrog heads on up.
I think we'll just follow him.
Yep.
I'm gonna just scan down the street and see if I can identify what each of these buildings are.
To the northwest, there is a blacksmith. It seems like further to the west, there is additional buildings as well. To the south of you, there appear to be 4 residential houses that don't seem to contain anything of value from what you can see on the outside.
What I'm going to do is really strangely, because I don't really care about what I'm socially valued as, I'm actually going to sprint back into the alchemy goods store real quick, whip out that gold slip I stole, okay? And I'm going to say, what would you pay for this? Yeah, I'm holding it out in my hand, not minding if he takes it off me, but I'll destroy him if he tries to steal it.
As he touches the gold bar, it begins to vibrate, and it vibrates for a few seconds and then stops again. His eyes widen and says, "I'll give you 100 gold for it."
Alright, thanks. And then I just walk out heaps weird.
That's not worth.
I don't give it to him. I say thanks for your quote. I just gotta leave. Say thanks and like just walk off with my gold slip and that's it. Mysteriously leave.
You can see him looking out at you through the window, but then he turns around and walks away.
Alright, cool. Head on down the street to the blacksmith and
Shopping.
waltz on in. Yeah.
The blacksmith is working on a new dagger, slamming his hammer against it repeatedly. Upon closer inspection, the mannequin on the north wall is actually a man wearing Imperial Guard armor.
Okay.
And he's just standing on a pedestal that a mannequin would normally be on. But your keen Argonian senses pick him up, and you're able to distinguish him from the armor he's pretending to be.
This is really weird.
Go up and poke him.
In order of operation, I go to the blacksmith first. So I walk over to the blacksmith.
Welcome, welcome!
What do you sell here?
We've got swords, we've got daggers, we've got maces and flails. We pretty much have your basic complement of anything that can be used with one hand. We don't have very much in the way of large arms, but you can definitely get a suit of armor if that's what you're looking for. We all know you're not looking for that.
Do you have any exotic weapons here?
I don't think so, but you might want to check the Fighters Guild to the west. They actually have quite a bit of weird weaponry there, and they might be able to make a deal with you at that about something they may have. But I'm afraid I only have pretty basic weapons. I'm going to be honest with you. I actually have my quota filled here with this weird conflict going on, so whatever you see here on the shelves is what I've got.
Okay, do you have any short swords here?
Oh, we've got several short swords over here on the southern wall. We've got a couple iron steel blades. Now, I'm afraid we don't have any of that fancy mithril stuff here. What you see is what you got.
Would you happen to have a steel short sword for a good price? What can I get?
Yeah, we can get you a sword at about 12 gold.
That's a bit too steep for my liking. Would you be willing to buy things from me?
If I can resell it.
How about this gold slip? What would you give me for it?
Gold? I don't really use raw gold, but I would probably, based on the size of it, it's about the size of 20 coins. Let's see. Can you hold that out for me?
Yeah, I reach out and I hold it out to him.
He taps it a couple times with his finger. Oh yeah, that's pretty pure. You know what? I'll give you 200 gold for it.
Yeah, right. I make the trade because I have 2 gold slips, if you remember.
All right, so he goes over to a small chest in the corner. He unlocks it. He takes out a bag of coins. He comes back over to the table here, and he counts out in stacks of 10, 20 stacks for you.
All right, a deal's a deal. I shovel the coins into my gigantic coin sack and hand him the gold slip. Now, I may have been ripped off there, but I don't really mind because I don't know how to use the gold slip. So at the moment, it's basically worthless to me.
Turns out to be the key to the treasury.
Yeah, well, I've got one. I've got one. So I'm going to... Now I will walk over, knowing that guard was an actual person. And I'm just going to slowly walk over and just gaze at him and see if I...
Cup his balls
see
and
if he-
see if he reacts.
See if he does anything.
His eyes are a brilliant green, and they stare back at you with a frightening intensity.
I'm just going to say hello there.
Well, your keen senses tell you that this is a high elf, that it has some kind of paint on to look like he's a human, but you can tell he's definitely a high elf masquerading as a human.
Okay. Does he respond to me saying hello?
No, he just stares at you with those scary eyes.
I'm gonna get out my Argonian claws, and I'm just gonna kind of curiously, not that would draw blood or anything like that, just tap him on the forehead.
You slip and stab straight through his skull.
Oh, shit.
As you go to tap him, he immediately, reflexively just slaps your hand out of the way, then immediately resumes the pose he was in. You barely even see him move. You failed to even poke him.
I'm just gonna leave. I'm out of here. It's a bit weird, you know. Could be just like a guard watching over the blacksmith's store in case anyone tries to rob it. So I know it's a high elf, but it's just too weird, and I'm not invested in it. So I'm just gonna turn around, kind of looking over my shoulder, watching this statue. Oh,
You realize that he is slowly mirroring your movements as you walk out.
getting a bit fucked.
The blacksmith has taken position near the door.
Sounds like a scene out of Deliverance.
I'm going to keep my cool and keep going,
Why don't you take those pants off, boy?
and go to leave. I want to leave. Am I able to do so?
Oh, Deliverance is that scene where they get the guy, squeal, piggy, squeal,
Oh,
and they're fucking
right.
him outside the river. That was really rapey, especially if you like look at that dude's token.
Yeah, I know. That guy's got the rapist token. I ain't about that.
The guard locks up the blacksmiths and stays inside to watch over it. Meanwhile, the blacksmith heads west and disappears out of sight.
He's going to sell your coin for a load of money.
I'm going to stalk him.
He doesn't notice you, so you stalk him off screen. You guys arrive in the village of Alses. There are vendors doing all kinds of things. They're buying and selling. They're going in and out of the various buildings. And pretty much there's just a heavy emphasis on trade. You notice a couple of the carts have the East Empire Company logo on them. And in general, it seems like this place is pretty busy and overpopulated for the size it is. Now, you see a couple large buildings to the west, a few small buildings to the south, but then further to the west on the horizon, you see a bunch more buildings.
Feldorf, where's this wizard?
He's right over there! As a man steps up, looks Revan straight in the eye. Revan Serethi, I assume. I am Morven Yomsley, and he pauses for a moment, noticing Faldarth. His face goes blank, and he turns around and starts walking the other way as if he hadn't seen you.
Well, I'm gonna go and follow this dude. I'm gonna go and yell out, wait.